Hello, today we'll be reviewing our second book. This book deals with the history of courtesans, tawaifs, prostitutes, and different social and historical aspects. It's called Ye Kothe Waliyan. It was written by a very famous Hindi writer, Amritlal Nagarji. I am not sure if there is an English translation available, but I'll definitely try to find the link for it if it is there. So Amritlal Nagarji wrote it as a detailed analysis of what was happening in his times. This would be late 1900s. It talks about social aspects, it talks about historical aspects, and most importantly, it is the one of the very few books where verbatim interviews of tawaifs have been recorded. So these were ladies who had seen times change. These were ladies who had performed in very elaborate settings at one point. They had seen poverty, and now they were battling the stigma that was attached to the word tawaif. So, what is a kotha? A kotha was basically a word used for the parlor of the or the chamber of a courtesan. Later, as times changed, kotha also became an abusive, vulgar word for a prostitute's house, because as times changed, the word courtesan slash tabayaf became synonymous with the word prostitute. So there are various aspects that have been discussed in this book. What I will be doing is I will be reading out passages and explaining them in English. At the end of it, I shall leave the judgment up to you. What do you think this book represented, or what do these stories represented? Right. So the writer at the outset talks about what was the impression that the general people had of tawaifs. He says, वेश्याओं की चालबाजियों पर यूं भी अक्सर बातें सुनने को मिला करती थीं। वेश्याओं की धूर्तता और बनावटी प्रेम के वर्णन भी पढ़ने को मिले। मेरे एक दो सहपाठी वेश्यागामी हो चुके थे। वे शेखी और रंगबाजी के साथ अपने अनुभवों का वर्णन कर बहुत से साथियों की प्यास भड़काया करते थे। सो द जनरल इम्प्रेशन ड्यूरिंग हिज टाइम्स वॉज दैट वेश्याज और तवाइफ्स आर ईविल, and they will draw out all the money from you and spoil your life and ruin your family if you go to them. And they often trap men with their art or with their seduction. Then he talks about when he used to live in Mumbai, and there was a lady who used to live next to him, and this lady had been forced into doing sex work because her husband wasn't earning. And in fact, the husband used to act as a pimp and get her customers. So when the customers would come, she had a little son named Lallu, and this Lallu would come and stay or take shelter in the writer's house who was living next door. So she becomes very emotional when the writer is leaving from there. जब चलने लगे तो उसकी आंखों में सहसा आंसू उमड़ आए। अभी से लल्लू को कौन देखेगा, कहा, और सुनी आंखों से कमरे के बाहर देखने लगी. सो एज a mother, her prime concern was, what will my son do during those hours when I am engaged in sex work? Where will my son go? So he also talks about how a Vaishya is not just an evil lady, filled with money and all the bad things in the world. She's also a mother, and she has all these practical concerns too, especially when she has been forced into it. Then we come on to the most interesting part of the book, where he has actually interviewed a lot of tawaifs, and we see a very interesting point here. नाम लिखाने में हर एक ने अपने नाम के साथ जुड़े हुए बाई शब्द को त्याग कर बेगम की उपाधि धारण करने की उत्सुकता दिखाई. जब एक ने सबके नाम बाई शब्द जोड़कर बतलाया तो दूसरी ने कहा, मैं 20 बरस से निकाह किए बैठी हूँ, मेरा बाजार से कोई वास्ता नहीं रहा, इसलिए मेरे नाम के सामने बेगम जोड़ने में क्या हर्ज है. So this is again a point where the word bai had become synonymous with a kothewali or a tawaif. So a lot of ladies changed this bai to either begum or devi, depending on whether they were Muslim or Hindu, right? So all of them wanted their name to be written with begum in the end, not the word bai, because bai indicated as if you're still sitting in the bazaar or sitting in the market. Begum meant that you have crossed a certain level of social acceptance, and now you lead a respectable life away from that profession. there is no difference when religion also when it comes to being a tawayaf. हुजूर डेरेदार में हिंदू मुसलमान दोनों ही शामिल हैं, फिर भी डेरेदार में कई कौमें होती हैं, हमारे गोत और निकास भी होते हैं. सो इन हियर ही एक्सप्लोर्स द वेरियस लेवल्स ऑफ social hierarchy that existed. Even within Tawayafs, there were Deredar Tawayafs who were the highest, and these ladies came from a lineage of Tawayafs, and they indulged mostly in classical music and dance. And then as you went down, there were ladies who indulged only in sex work, and there were many social statuses in between. So all these things they formed a complex system. You could not just say that she is a Tawayaf, this is her role, right? There is also talk about police persecution in those days, where even old Tawayafs were, gathered up in raids and then thrown into jails. अरे ये आपके सामने जो मुन्नी बाई बैठी हैं, अभी 15 दिन हवालात में रह आई हैं. देखिए तो सही, ना मुंह में दांत है ना पेट में आंत, ये भला आप किसको रिझाएंगी? So a lot of police persecution, some of it may be acceptable, some of it non-acceptable was there. Right. Now, a lot of these Tawayafs were very knowledgeable about classical music, because this is where she's talking about what kinds of music were played and what are the kinds of different gharanas and styles of classical music in Hindustani. बनारस की गायकी का घराना क्या कहलाता है? जी, वह भी पूरब अंग ही कहलाता है, मगर हम लोग यहाँ उसे बनारस अंग कहते हैं. उसकी अपनी खूबियाँ हैं, हमारी अपनी खूबियाँ हैं. वह हम पर मरते हैं, हम उन पर मरते हैं. So they know a lot about how a lot of semi-classical compositions, especially Thumris, Dadras, were sung, because a lot of these Deredar Tawayafs who have seen the times used to sing only that at one point. Now we also talk about what was the culture at that point. So one of these ladies talks about what used to happen in Lucknow. लखनऊ की तहजीब बखान करते हुए मुनीर बाई ने बतलाया कि यहाँ का कायदा यह था कि जब रईस तवायफ़ के यहाँ आकर बैठते थे, तब तवायफ़ अपनी तरफ से कभी नहीं कहती थी कि हुजूर गाना सुनिए. यह बातचीत और अदब मिठास से रईस की खातिर करती, और जब रईस खुद ही फरमाइश करता कि उस्तादों को बुलाइए, तभी गाना शुरू होता था. सो दिस तहजीब में बात करना एंड टॉकिंग विद रिस्पेक्ट एंड हाउ टू ईट पान एंड हाउ टू behave in social settings, all this was also a part of a Tawayaf. So something like, if you have read the book Memoirs of a Geisha, something of that sort was also here. In fact, it has been said that the rich and cultured actually sent their sons to Tawayaf so that they could learn, these skills from them. Obviously, there was also the seamy side, where police raids happened and men got drunk and there was jealousy and these ladies turned on each other. He has also interviewed a lot of famous singers of that time. For example, Badi Moti Bai ji, Vidyadhari ji, and Siddheshwari Devi ji. And they also talk about what was the glory of those times, where they used to sit on a stage and a lot of people used to appreciate them for their musical talent. Right? Slowly times changed and men lost the kind of money that they had. Also the moral structure and the demands also changed, and we stepped into an era where all of this was not acceptable. But the questions that I want to raise is, who actually came up with this culture? Were these ladies the only ones responsible? Weren't those men responsible who went to them? Aren't those men responsible today too? So why is it that when the whip is cracked, it is always on the back of these ladies, right? A social culture, a social thing does not exist because there is just the person who is doing it. There has to be a consumer, right? So these are a lot of important topics that we have to talk about. The wives may not be there anymore, but a lot of such things exist in society even today. Keep thinking, and we'll keep talking more about such books. Thank you.